adventurers. Welcome to Adventurous Spirits. This is a weekly musical podcast where we come together, help encourage each other on whatever adventurous path we're each on. And probably most of us have multiple adventures sort of interweaving and seeming to separate and then come back together again, and just making things a little more complicated than we would like them to be. But that's why we have each other, because we've all been there, and we're here to participate in the ups and downs and the sideways. Whether it is life stuff, relationship stuff, people in your life, family, creativity, work, figuring out who you are and what it's all for, everything and anything is an adventure. You know, the world is full of intimidating and exciting endeavors, and we are people who pursue those. We go looking for it. We're excited to encounter adventure. So let's all come together here to support those daily steps that we have to take to put ourselves in a position to feel the milestones, to feel the success of our adventurous intentions. This is episode 23, and today's title is Pioneer Problems. I'm your host, Courtney Matz, and I will be serenading you along the way because, you know, every personal growth journey needs a soundtrack. It needs a great soundtrack. I'm going to do my best. And some of these are all songs that have come out of my personal growth journeys. And I hope that they're helpful to you. I hope that you relate. That's the whole reason that we sing our songs. We don't just lock them away and keep them to ourselves. We share them. Because the goal is that these are relatable experiences that we can all benefit from. So pioneer problems, what do I mean by that? So here in the United States, we have a term for the people that settled this country. And some of them did that with intentions to be a benefit to those around them, and some did that with very selfish intentions. But regardless, everyone left what was familiar and safe, relatively, to venture into the unknown. And I take that sort of view of the term pioneer to intentionally go somewhere because you believe that you can do good there. You believe that you can find your own fulfillment there. You believe that there is something better that is about to happen than staying put. And as every pioneer knows, there is not a wide open path to the place that you are going. It's not like, here, come settle this place, be part of it, we welcome you. If anyone has encountered that, I would love to hear about it. I think we all have had to blaze our trail. We've had to figure it out as we go, and even those who've gone before us can't really tell you what to do. It's different every time. We know we have those guides. The pioneers had those guides too, getting whole wagon trains across the country, and it's challenging. You know, the weather's different. People behave differently. The things that were true last time aren't true this time. Every journey is just it's its own thing. And so we all have to pause periodically and get our bearings. And you've heard me talk about that for myself the last couple of weeks, kind of wading through whatever post effects of a big event have to take place in order to get clarity and to feel good about the direction I'm heading again. And I think that's starting to happen, so that's great. But, you know, there's a whole process to this orientation. You don't have a physical compass. So what is your spiritual internal compass, and what is it informed by? How do you sort of rejuvenate that when you aren't sure which way is north? And when you're not sure if you want to keep blazing the trail towards the thing that you started out. There are people who live in Montana because they were going somewhere else, and then they said, why don't we just stay here? And maybe that is fine. Maybe that is fine. Maybe we figure out a place that we didn't know existed on our path. So I just put that out there for the chat. If you're listening in live or if you're tuning in later, show us in the comments, where are you going? What sort of helps you reorient when you get a little sidetracked, or you follow a bunny trail, or something comes at you and you have to kind of figure out another way forward? One thing that I've discovered for myself is that no matter what it is that kind of knocks me off course, there's a bit of regrouping, and it doesn't feel very graceful. It feels kind of clumsy and scattered and sloppy, and it doesn't look good necessarily. You try. You hope that you've learned some things over the years, but no matter what, it's just gonna look the way it looks. So I kind of wrote this song while I was getting my courage together to record my first Christmas EP. This was years ago now. And, I was singing it to myself today, and I thought, I still like this song. Let me sing it to the podcast. So here you go. This is called Tough Guy. Checking twice, freaking out at what I've gotten myself into. Oh no, I'm not a tough guy. Can't keep it all locked inside. Got a heart that's aware and a brain that cares. Hope you don't mind. Don't put mere humans up high. There's no graceful way down, and both of us are set up to be found wanting. think? Can you relate? Do you feel sometimes, you're out there in front and it just feels like everybody's sort of waiting to see how you do? And it's probably not that, honestly. It's probably not so much that as just there's nothing much to pay attention to yet. But it can feel very lonely to kind of be the visionary, the one carrying the idea into its fruition. And I'm really hoping to learn how to make that a less isolated experience and to welcome people into it. Now that I have more trusted friends, people that are laboring shoulder to shoulder with me, and that you feel safe to share that vision before it's finalized. And there's something about the solidarity of knowing that you have people who believe in you that just makes it easier to try and maybe not 100% succeed the first time. The history books are full of stories of innovators and inventors and creators who didn't succeed the first time. They took a big risk, a big gamble, and maybe they didn't always land. They didn't nail that landing. To use a gymnastics reference. So it can be very helpful emotionally as well as just for the actual purpose of accomplishing anything, to find some fellow adventurers and people who get that this is an uncertain process and that you just have to support one another even when you don't see how this is going to work. And that's a whole conversation about where to find those. I'm happy to say that I found most of mine through Epiphany Space. This is where I am right now, is at Epiphany Space in Hollywood, my beloved co-working space and artist community. And so if you are kind of feeling that pioneer problem of being out in front without people backing you up necessarily right away, I encourage you to check out the online platform if you're not here in LA. And if you are here in LA, then just come over and check it out in person. But you can learn more about it at epiphanyspace.com. Speaking of which, I met a few years ago a fellow songwriter who co-wrote a song with me. And it's kind of about this journey of diving into a world you're unfamiliar with and really hoping that you do okay, but not really understanding how. And it's on Patreon. It's called Here We Go. discontent or far from home. Still don't know if we belong. Taking names and singing songs. We can't go wrong. That song is actually called Can't Go Wrong. I always think of the first line. I wrote it with my friend Ward. And I hope it just makes you feel a little less pressure to know exactly where you're going at all times. I think sometimes this orienting is about a direction and less about the exact way to get there. You know, if you know you need to go west, just keep going west. If there's something in your way as you head west, try to get back to west as soon as you reorient around the thing that's in your way. You may have to go north or south for a bit. That's the good that some of these kind of downtimes can do, is they give you space to get perspective and figure out which direction should I be heading again. They give you time to remember where exactly you're trying to go. The main thing, what really matters here, because things are always getting in our way, or we planned insufficiently or incorrectly, and we have to adapt. We just have to adapt. That is life. Whether you feel you are an adventurous spirit or not, your life is full of adaptation, and that can take a lot out of you. When I took my big East Coast road trip back in 2011, I had the last day I was trying to get to Key West, and I started to do the math and realize if I continue on the route that I charted for myself, which was, you know, slower speeds but going through more interesting territory to be able to actually see the places I was traveling through, it's just, I'm not going to make it. And the thing about road tripping is that once the sun goes down, it's not very interesting. There's not a lot to look at. So it's helpful to have that moment of truth and realize what's really important to me right now. The main thing is to get to Key West before sunset, or in time to see the sunset. I really wanted that. So I sacrificed my last day of driving through small towns for the sake of taking the turnpike, going fast, and arriving at my destination while I could still look at it. And I think there's an object lesson in that for all of our adventures and all of our blazing trails and walking into the unknown. When you get frustrated and disappointed, just remember what's important and head back towards that. The path will adapt. So now I'm going to sing you a song. This is the first song that I ever sang of my own in front of people. It was the year 2000. And for my friend's graduation, her high school graduation, I just really wanted to write a song for her graduating class. So I wrote this song called Remember, and it's all about kind of finding your direction, but ultimately remembering who you are and why you're here. And it's one of those prayer songs. I took it from the Bible and then tweaked it to fit my own purposes. Expand on it, that is. I didn't change it. I just, adapted it to this specific application. So here we go. Here's Remember, a song that is 23 years old. If I can remember how the melody goes. Da, 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 da. Standing on the threshold of what has been and is to come, you feel all the weight of these next steps. Still so many choices, a race that must be run, while chasing after dreams and happiness. But child, can you hear me whisper in your ear? Remember, remember, remember your creator in your youth. As you journey through this life, the path divides and bends. You cry out for wisdom to discern, waiting for an answer with your finger in the wind, and desperate for a sign at every turn. But child, can you hear me whisper in your ear? Remember, remember your creator in your youth. Oh, and child, won't you listen as I sing to you? Remember, banish anxious thoughts from your heart. Cast off all the troubles of your flesh. Immature ambitions will not last. The vigor of your youth is meaningless. Take a moment now to turn and see my hand, moving every moment of your days. I have brought you here, and nothing thwarts my plans. Only hear my voice and keep my ways. Only hear my voice and keep my ways. Child, can you hear me? Child, won't you listen and Whether or not you've ever read the book of Ecclesiastes, I hope that this has been a fruitful time for you to reconnect with who you are and why you're here. If you've had a good time today, I hope you'll give me a little like on YouTube or a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That would be awesome. regardless, come and tell us about where you are in your pioneer problems, in your orienting and reorienting, here in the comments on YouTube or on Facebook in our Adventurous Spirits Facebook group. And if you'd like to hear these songs again, you can do that with a $10 subscription to Patreon. You just go to patreon.com/CourtneyMatz. Or just keep playing this podcast and you'll hear them every time. Thanks for sharing this journey with one another. It really does make such a difference to have people to adventure with. I hope I'll see you next Tuesday for a live recording of this musical podcast. And in the meantime, have fun out there.